Today I'm going to show how to jumpstart a car without a battery. So what I have here is a $2,000 approximately a Maxwell 500 farad 16 volt supercapacitor, which I'm going to use to demonstrate how to jumpstart a car without a battery. So I do have a battery pre-installed right now that is having a 12.8 volt measure at the battery post, positive and negative. But I have a disconnector here that I can tighten it to connect the negative post to the car, as well as loosen it that will disconnect the battery post from the car easily. So if I put my positive post at the black wire, the negative post, okay, so if I disconnect it, then between the battery terminal and the negative post will show the battery's voltage. If I connect it, then it will go down to 0 because the wire is connected. So let me disconnect it again. And so when you have a 11 plus voltage, that means it's disconnected. So I'm going to make use of the negative post, and for this one, so because the battery is disconnected, so effectively the voltage between the positive post and negative post will be close to 0. Okay, so this is pretty much what it will happen if your battery is discharged. And in this video, I'm going to show the battery is totally disconnected. So can the car jumpstart without a battery? Let's move over to our capacitor. So this is the guy that I'm going to use to jumpstart the car. Again, without battery. So I have a regular, I think it's a 8 gauge wire that I salvage from a car jumpstart cable. One for positive, one for negative. Let me connect the battery first. So the black will be on the right. So I'm going to move it around. So the black color, I will connect it to the negative post of the car, which is right here. And again, move the probe a little bit, so it still shows about 0 volt. And let me find a place to put the probe. Okay, so this is a good location, showing 0.4 volt. And before I do further, I just to show the current capacitor's voltage is pre-charged to 13.4 volts. So let me put the probe back. So this is where I'm going to connect the capacitor's positive post, positive clamp. Okay. All right. Back to the meter is 13.42 volt, and the battery itself is 14.81, which is disconnected. Right now, just from the supercapacitor itself is 14.4, and so the voltage is dropping because the car has a immobilizer, computers, and radio that is constantly draining the the so-called battery, which in my case will be a supercapacitor. So can I jump start the car without any battery? Let's see. Back into the car, I have a key right here, and then I have a small meter. Oh, by the way, let me press the voltmeter to show the minimum voltage so that I can show what is the minimum voltage when I crank the car. Okay, back to the seat. So it's 13.2 volt. All right, cranking it. 14.0, 14.1, 14.2. And so this is the alternator that is powering up the car without the battery again. Go back to here. So you can see this is the minimum voltage, 11.3 volt. Again, this negative pole is loose, it's not connected. And obviously the car can be jump start without the battery. Just before I end the video, let me do another crank test to see whether what is any change in the minimum voltage. I will assume it is no different, but let me reset it. Okay, 14.36 minimum. This time I will show the video on the small voltmeter towards the left, and off the car engine and powering on crank. Okay, everything good. Instrument panel is clean, no check engine light. Back to the front. What is the minimum voltage? So the minimum voltage is 12.05 volts. Obviously the capacitor was not discharged so much compared to prior, and immediately I turned off the engine, and immediately I cranked the car. So the charge in the supercapacitor has a much higher voltage, and it can withdraw much higher current as well. This capacitor is rated, I think it's about 200 amp maximum ampere output, and so obviously it can handle Honda Odyssey starter that may be rated about 100 amp to 120 amp, I guess. And this ends the video. Thank you very much.